Hey, Canucks fans, there were new forward lines at practice, new blue line combos at practice, and I'll share a quick word about everything that's happening off the ice with this team. I'm Canuck Clay, and this is my Canucks take all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Friday, September the 30th. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Thanks to everyone who joined me for my live stream last night. Had a lot of fun, even spontaneously gave away some prizes. Congratulations once again to Mark. And yes, Sean and I were at the game last night. Entertaining game, seeing the Vancouver Canucks fall to the visiting Seattle Kraken 4-3 in overtime. And based on what Bruce Boudreau saw or didn't see last night, he made some changes at practice today. So I'll go through the lines and the pairings, and I'll talk about my observations. So at forward, basically, Karlsson and Connor Garland swap spots. And remember, when I read these lines out, there's no Brock Besser, there's no Ilya Mikheyev. So it's Pettersson, Kuzmenko, and Connor Garland, who switched places with Linus Karlsson. Karlsson now was on the wing with Miller and Pearson. Then you had Horvat between the two youngsters, Podkolzin and Hoglander. Then a fourth line of Dickinson, Lazar, and Joshua. Then a fifth line, so to speak, of Sheldon Dries, Phil DiGiuseppe, and Niels Aman. Then you had four D pairings going. Interesting to note that OEL and Hughes were split up. So it was OEL and Myers, Hughes and Pullman, Rathbone, Schenn, and then DeKeyser with Burrows. And then, of course, the goaltenders as well. So let's break this down a little bit. Up front, like I said, the swap was simply Karlsson and Garland. Now we know that Petey and Kuzmenko were the best duo last night. Kuzmenko with 2 goals and an assist. Pettersson with 2 assists. Both of Pettersson's assists were to Kuzmenko. So that Petey-Kuzmenko duo, that pairing, at least for last night, was really strong. Showed a lot of great chemistry. And they're the 2 best forwards for the Vancouver Canucks, bar none. So Connor Garland gets put on that line. Maybe a way to get him going, because I thought Connor Garland was relatively ineffective last night, playing with Miller and Pearson. So maybe this is more so getting Garland going as opposed to Garland helping Petey and Kuzmenko get going, because Petey and Kuzmenko did not need much help last night. Now, Linus Karlsson, who showed okay yesterday, doesn't have a lot of foot speed, but does have a hockey sense, makes smart plays. He just makes those plays relatively not fast, if that makes sense. I don't want to say slowly, but not the quickest pace in Karlsson's game. So he'll be playing with JT Miller and Tanner Pearson. I didn't think Miller was great last night, even though he had 2 assists. And I thought Pearson struggled a lot, including a couple of very untimely turnovers. Third line had Horvat, Podkolzin, and Hoglander. Can't really comment too much on this one, aside from that Horvat and Podkolzin played together in the preseason game on Sunday, and neither of them played last night, whereas Hoglander did, and he looked pretty good. And then the fourth line, none of them played Joshua played last night, but Dickinson and Lazar didn't play. And that's how the Canucks will line up front, or at least the way they practiced today. Now on the blue line, the biggest story is Quinn Hughes and OEL split up. So maybe Boudreau didn't like how it looked last night, even though Quinn Hughes talked after the game and said he really enjoys playing on the right side. Or maybe Boudreau will go back to Hughes on the right, but want to try something different in practice. So it was OEL and Myers. That was basically the pair we saw a lot of last year. But it wasn't Hughes and Schenn. It was Hughes and Pullman. And instead, Schenn stayed with Rathbone, although they didn't play together last night because Schenn didn't play. So, and then that means that DeKeyser was actually on the fourth pairing with Kyle Burrows. So a couple of things here. Obviously, we will see how this Quinn Hughes on the right side, how that experiment goes. I liked it. Sure, he was still figuring a couple things out, but there were no goals scored last night because Quinn Hughes was on the right side. So I think I want to see a bit more of it. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. And then, of course, the other one is Danny DeKeyser. I made a joke yesterday that he wasn't even on the NHL.com box score, which is true. So a lack of respect there. And I thought he was just okay. He didn't look great on the first Kraken goal last night. So maybe DeKeyser is dropping down to a fourth pairing. And at least for practice, he was with Kyle Burrows. Now, the interesting thing about all of this is the injury to Travis Dermott is really, just like any injury to any key player, it makes a big difference, and it's necessitated all these changes. Because when Dermott is healthy on the left side, then you can keep Hughes on the right, and you can have Dermott and Rathbone as your left side guys with DeKeyser as the fourth. So OEL, Dermott, Rathbone, DeKaiser. And on the right side, you can go Hughes, Myers, Pullman, and Shen. And then, in essence, Kyle Burroughs becomes your ninth defenseman. But with Rathbone out, and Rathbone predominantly a left-hander, it actually makes the left side weak when you move Hughes to the right. Because on the left side, last night, you had OEL, you had DeKaiser, and Rathbone. And you guys know how much I love Rathbone. So it's really DeKaiser moving in the top six role, a top three pairing role, I should say, when Dermott's out. But if Dermott's out and you put Hughes on the left, then DeKaiser, you can see naturally gets bumped down one spot, right? Probably to where he should be as the 7th and 8th defenseman. So that's how the Canucks lined up. They still have another day of practice tomorrow, and then they have their next exhibition game. No, what am I talking about? They have their next exhibition game tomorrow. So maybe they do a game day skate, a light one, and then they're playing in Seattle tomorrow night. Last thing I want to talk about, I don't want to get into the details about either, but I think it would behoove me. I love that word. It would behoove me to mention that there's a couple of things going on off the ice with the Vancouver Canucks. One of them, I've touched on it very, very briefly in my live stream because I don't know the full story, and it's simply a topic I don't enjoy speaking about. But that is, of course, the allegations of abuse leveled at Canucks owner Francesco Aquilini. The NHL put out a statement and said they will continue to monitor the situation. Of course, these claims coming from Aquilini's ex-wife, Talia. So that is a very fascinating, sensitive story to keep an eye on going forward. And the other one that has come out recently is Rachel Doerrie, the analytics guru, who got hired by the Canucks 8 months ago while the Canucks were hiring a lot of new people, including women. Emily Castonguay as an assistant GM, Cami Granado as an assistant GM, and Rachel Doerrie into the analytics department. She is quietly, or not so quietly, left the organization. Don't know if she left, don't know if she was fired, don't know if they mutually agreed, whatever it is. A lot of speculation out there, but I won't get into it here. You can find it online. A lot of speculation, but no details. Everyone is confirming, all the reporters like Dollywall are indeed reporting, confirming that Rachel Doerrie is no longer part of the organization. And when Boudreau was asked about it today, he said that he's not going to comment, and that he's not even going to comment on whether or not they're going to fill her spot, because Boudreau suggested that she would be given an increased profile, increased responsibilities as the season started. So my question to you, with the Francesco Aquilini allegations, with the sudden departure of Rachel Doerrie, is do you think, how should I say this? Do you think the Canucks are kind of a mess when it comes to their front office staff and management and coaching, or are you the type where you don't want to jump to that conclusion? You want to wait till all the facts come out and then you'll make your determination from there? Usually I'm like that. I'd fall into that category, but you can't deny, with stories swirling around like the Aquilini story, like the Rachel Doerrie story, that there's never a dull moment in the Canucks land. That's I think a safe thing to say, and it makes for a good discussion. It makes for speculation. Not that speculation is good, but there's never a dull moment. And I guess my question to you Canucks fans is do you like it that way, or would you like it where it was more calm and you're just worried about who's playing with who and who's going to play in net and all those things? Let me know. Let me know in the comments below. I'm really curious to hear from you as to your patience, your tolerance when it comes to off ice stories like this. Do you get into it? Do you not get into it? Do you care? Do you not care? Do you think it's a distraction? Do you think it's interesting to have these kind of stories? Whatever you want to talk about, put in the comments below. I love to read, react, and reply. Thank you to my sponsors, Van City Experts Real Estate and Perform and Transform Personal Training Weight Loss. Thank you, legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Just Incredible, legendary Andrew Chang, and to Hall of Fame and franchise members as well. Thanks as always for your support. And thanks to all of you for watching and continue to help me grow this channel. As always, subscribe if you'd like to, like this video if you'd like to, leave a tip, a super thanks if you'd like to, become a member or upgrade your membership if you'd like to, and definitely leave a comment below if you'd like to. You can talk about the line combinations, you can talk about last night's game, or you can talk about the state of flux when it comes to the Canucks front office staff. Would love to know what you are thinking. Finally, if you made it this far in the video, 9.5 minutes in, it is Truth and Reconciliation Day here in Canada, a national day to recognize and to honor victims and those that were affected by the residential schools and the happenings that took place there. So in honor of that day, why don't you type in, if you want, truth and reconciliation into the comments, and then I know that you made it to the end of this video. Okay, friends, as always, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. Have a great day. God bless, and go Canucks go.